I watched Nate and John last night. It is such a beautiful watch, such an incredible little story. Where did the idea for this come from, first of all?
Well, first off, I appreciate that. The story is actually probably started 15 years ago. I was a salesperson, um, just working on the street, cold calling, and I needed a haircut. And I stopped in at my usual barbershop and I was tired and I didn't feel like talking. I figured I'd close my eyes for 12 minutes and let him do his thing and I'll just sort of sit there. And the barbershop dynamic is interesting. Even then, it's a moment where you don't have your phones.
Mm.
So immediately you're disconnected. And rather than totally disconnect, the barber started asking me some questions about my day and my life. And I'm like, I answered. And then I asked him some questions. And before I knew it, we were having this really meaningful conversation for 12 minutes. And I came home and I thought, wow, that was the most meaningful conversation I had the whole day. And then I went back 3 months later and I continued the conversation as if we never left. And it went on for years. And I just thought that relationship was something I hadn't seen in movies or shorts or
Mhm.
animation. And I thought it was really interesting that human to human connection that the barber has with his clientele.
Definitely. I don't think many people notice that, yeah, when we go to get our haircut, we kind of establish this relationship with our barber, and it goes on for years, and it kind of goes, under the radar. We don't really
Yeah,
appreciate it as much. When I was seeing this, I'm like, it was really heartwarming. There's a many instances where I was smiling. There was that one sad moment. How do you capture that in a short that has no words?
that's right. Not only is it a short that has no words, it's a short. It's only
Yeah.
7 minutes, and we span 60 years in 7 minutes without any words. So we were tackling a lot, and we're low budget, so we had a lot to figure out, and that all kind of works and goes to the director, Jumai Youssef, and the producer, Jean Liu. And they kind of took the reins and figured out how to tell this story that I wrote with my brother David and I, and was produced by our friend Todd Feldman. And they kind of just figured out how to make this in the segments that we needed, and obviously bringing in the beautiful music by
Mhm.
Pedro Asano. That brings it all to life as well. And it was an act of love. We all wanted, the world's divided, and we wanted to show that any two people can get together and find a common ground.
Definitely. And the animation style is incredible. Is this the animation style you envisioned the entire time?
Yeah, it's our first or my first venture into animation, and I didn't have the wherewithal to know what kind. And again, I give the credit to Jemai and Jean. They presented us with the look, and I'm like, oh, that's exactly what I envisioned. It's perfect.
Mhm.
And they took it, and it's got that retro feel, and it just kind of works, right?
Yeah. As you watch it, what feelings do you get from it? Because you've been with it for the longest. How are you feeling about it now?
Yeah, I mean, I watch it, and my thought always is any little thing we can do to remind ourselves that we're all alike is the goal. Our production company is called Unity Animation Production. Unity Animation, yeah. And the whole idea is to remind people that we're all the same. This group of people that made this animation, it was actually towards the end of COVID. We never even met. We did it all by Zoom all around the world with
Wow.
different people. And when I see it, I just see that final product that we got our message across, and it's really resonating. We won an award at the Cannes Film Festival, at the American Pavilion. We've been at Tribeca, and it's the little engine that could. We don't have the budget of a Disney or a Pixar. We don't have the dialogue. It's a short film, but it does touch people, and that makes me proud.
Definitely. And for me, whenever I see a movie like this, it's so universal. It's so, heartwarming. It touches so many people, and it's a very personal story. Uh, how do you get that on paper? I don't think it's an easy task to get something so personal on paper.
Yeah, I think that's any writer's goal is to write something personal that is taken as universal. So when we show the film, people will come up to me and say, "I have that same kind of feeling when I go to my barber or my beautician, or I have that relationship with my hardware, person, or my person at CVS, or that's the idea is that these are the people in our lives that
Mhm.
don't necessarily we think of as mainstays, but they are because they're struggling too. They're trying to get through this world too, and we all have something we can offer each other. And I just think, to write that out and then to finally be able to see it, come through over that span of time, I'm very proud of it.
And I don't want to give much away, but the end is a real tearjerker. Was this your intention the entire time to end it in a very, it's a beautiful note, but it's a very emotional note.
Yeah, when you talk about a character's lifespan, we're starting with these characters when they're 17 and 18
Mhm.
in the first scene, and at the end it's 60 years later, so they're late 60s. The whole idea is that we all have this universal ups and downs as humans. We have good times, we have bad times, we have happy times, we have sad times where it's really sad. And we knew where we are going with the ending, but I'd like to think it has a humanity to it without giving too much away,
Mhm.
to show really what kind of an effect we can have on each other.
Definitely. I think we end up having unexpected friendships, relationships, and this short really summarizes it beautifully. Is there any plans to expand on this? Is there any way we can?
I'd love to. The first thing is we need to get the word out. So thank you for the interview. We're among the 60 qualified animation shorts that are with the Academy Awards right now, and we're going to be uh, dropped to 15, and we're hoping to make the 15. So any word of mouth or groundswell we can do, that would be great. And yeah, I think there's more legs here. I look at it like there's a story here that's resonating, and I could see doing a live action short. I could see doing a play. I think these characters and this dynamic of those two gentlemen has more story to tell.
Definitely. And the reaction you've gotten, how do you feel with it? Because I'm sure it has resonated with so many people and brought out something that they never really expected to have.
You never know when you're working on something. You try to do the best you can, and it always comes out not quite what you envisioned, but hopefully people get it. And the real pinnacle of that is when we were at the American Pavilion at Cannes this past summer. We were among 30 shorts
Mhm.
in this festival. And what I found when I got there was it was mostly live action shorts. We weren't even up against animated shorts. So these live action shorts were really well done. You had huge budgets. There were war films. There were
Mhm.
period pieces, and here we are with our little 7 minute animation, and we felt kind of out classed or whatever. And then they came up to the end. They said, okay, the major award of the night is the Cultural Impact Award,
Mhm.
and I was not even thinking we were in the running. And she says that we want to give this, we felt this is really important. We want to give this award to the team of Nate and John. And we were like, we couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
So, when we hear when we hear something like that or experience something like that, we want to kind of get this out to as many people as possible.
Definitely. I'm sure as an artist, uh you don't do this for the awards, but how satisfying is it, or how validating is it that, you get awarded for something you have such a passion for?
Yeah, especially that award. That was the Cultural Impact Award. It wasn't just a regular gold medal or
Hmm.
first place. The cultural impact is what you want. You want the piece of art to be beyond yourselves and resonate with people and maybe have them think just a little differently and bring people a little bit closer together. And if it did that just in a tiny, tiny way, boy, we're really proud of that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this project. It is such a beautiful watch. I enjoyed it so much, and I hope it gets the audience it really does deserve.
Appreciate that. Thank you so much.